Let's bring in NBC News Chief Capitol Hill correspondent Ryan Nobles, along with CEO of the Forward Party and former Romney Regional Finance Director Lindsey Draft, and Senior Advisor to Vote Vets and former Democratic Congressman Max Rose. Ryan, with Musk's new demand to kill the bill, where do we stand on Capitol Hill this morning as Musk puts his political influence up against President Trump's?
Yeah, I don't think that this has necessarily stopped the forward momentum from this package getting passed. I think that were always the same concerns that Elon Musk is echoing with members of both the Senate and the House Republican caucus, that the bill does not cut enough. But I think if most congressional Republicans are forced to choose between Donald Trump or Elon Musk, they're probably going to choose Donald Trump every day and twice on Sunday. That's just the way that this congressional Republican caucus has operated. That being said, though, Republicans are going to be forced to make a more compelling case to their constituents that are concerned about government spending that this bill cuts enough. And that means rebutting the findings of the Congressional Budget Office, which has demonstrated now on two separate occasions on the scoring of this bill that it will actually increase the deficit. Listen to how Republicans are responding to those results from the CBO.
We went through it again today. I just don't know that we have much faith in the CBO. Again, they were wrong on Kennedy tax cuts, Reagan, Trump's. When has the CBO been right? And it's not been very often.
We believe that if you take the CBO assumptions, which were dramatically off when it came to the 2017 tax bill, but if you take pretty much everybody else's economic modeling and you realize there's going to be growth as a result of passing this bill, that growth generates additional government revenue.
So a bit of a fact check here. The CBO certainly did not get the results of the 2017 tax bill 100% accurate. That's nearly impossible to do. You're forecasting the future. There are so many variables that need to be taken into account. But they were not dramatically off. And one of the things that the CBO reviewed during the 2017 tax cuts was that there was not going to be enough growth in the government to offset the cost of these tax cuts. Certainly the government did grow. They did not take that into account fully, but they were correct in their assumption that it would not be enough to pay for the tax cuts in totality. And what Republicans are now trying to sell is a tax plan that would make those tax cuts permanent and argue that the growth that would come from as a result of it would be enough to pay for them. The CBO doesn't agree. A lot of economic experts don't agree. Certainly there is some growth that is a result of tax cuts, but they rarely, if ever, fully pay for themselves, Anna.
Yeah, and Lindsey, it's interesting that President Trump has been unusually quiet as he continues to take incoming from Elon Musk, just really thrashing and trashing and bombarding this bill online. What do you make of his relative silence, given he's so quick to hit back usually?
I think the question is he taking this personally? We know that Elon Musk is taking this very personally. The EV tax credits were taken out of the reconciliation bill. He did not get his preferred nominee for NASA. So he's a little burned, and now he's come back. It's obvious he's taking this very personally. The question is whether or not the president is going to respond in turn.
Yeah, Congressman Rose, Democrats on Capitol Hill are now saying, hey, we agree with Elon Musk. Who would have thought, right? I mean, politics can make for strange bedfellows, but do you think that this is a strategy that the Democrats could use to slow the bill's trajectory?
Democrats don't need to do very much right now. I think you just sit back and watch all of this trouble in paradise. A few short months ago, Elon Musk was on an absolutely destructive role throughout Washington, D.C. as the leader of DOJ, firing tens of thousands of veterans. But he did have one singular goal in mind, and that was to very quickly and rapidly cut the size and scope of the federal government. And now what he's coming to realize, this was a newcomer to politics, is that the Republican Party, going all the way back to Bush, has never been fiscally conservative or reasonable. They talk about it during campaigns, but then once they have the levers of power, they are the most fiscally reckless party that can be. Donald Trump can say he's not like Bush. Very clearly is with this bill.
Yeah, the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office says this bill will add $2.4 trillion to the national debt over the course of 10 years. Lindsey, why doesn't that seem to be giving more Republicans pause.
Well, it does give Ron Johnson pause. And I'm going to disagree with you, Max, and the James Carville recommendation to sit back and watch this all play out. I worked for Ron Johnson. He doesn't care about making friends. And actually, it makes him wildly popular in Wisconsin. He doesn't care about keeping his seat. And Elon Musk has given him a little bit of cover, along with some other members of the Republican Senate, to say we have to do the work. Senator Johnson wants to go through this line by line. And he and Rand Paul and some others on the sidelines, I think, are going to force this.
But do you think voters actually care that much about the national debt? I mean, that's never an issue that comes up near the top during election season.
Yeah, I think that if we start to expose some of the things that are included in this bill, it will make Americans stand up and pay attention.
We'll see, I guess. Some House Republicans, of course, are saying the CBO is wrong. And in fact, I think it was the White House press secretary who said this is just a partisan attack, this report from the CBO. Ryan gave us a great fact check that the CBO is not partisan in how they operate. It's a nonpartisan organization. In fact, the head of it is a Republican who served under the George Bush administration, and the CBO actually explicitly prohibits employees from engaging in political activity that could be perceived as biased. So, Congressman Rose, what do you make of that attack line?
It's absurd, and they're not basing that off of anything. I mean, there are no legitimate experts, even outside of the CBO, that claim that this is a fiscally responsible bill. But let's for a moment assume in a world of flying pigs and fairies that this is fiscally responsible. Look at what they're still trying to do. They're trying to cut health care throughout the country for hardworking people who rely on it every day. That's going to lead to hospitals closing and hundreds of thousands of people getting fired, all to give that money away to people who certifiably do not need it, who are their donors. So if that's what they need to lean back on here, this is not going to work out. The truth of the matter is, where these folks are the most comfortable is when they get to claim that they're not woke. When they actually have governing responsibility, they are utterly incompetent, and that is showing through each and every day.
I mean, you said it's not going to work out, but quickly, if you will, Lindsay, we heard Thune say Republicans can't fail here. It's not that failure is not an option for Republicans. In a way, politically, is he right?
Thune said failure is not an option, but the other thing that he did on Monday of this week is say that the Senate will uphold the rulings of the parliamentarian. And look at this bill and how it's being pushed through. A reconciliation bill is not supposed to be making rules and laws. It's supposed to allow us to get the government funded, which is why they can expedite the filibuster in the Senate. The Senate parliamentarian is going to be critically important here because she's going to itemize this bill in the same way that Senator Johnson is asking for and kick out things that have nothing to do with the federal budget. So if you look at, for example, the provision in there that would limit the ability for judges to hold people in contempt of court, I don't understand what that has to do with funding the federal government. And she's going to find those.
Yeah, I think a lot of Americans would say the same thing. Thank you, Lindsey Drath, former Congressman Max Rose. I appreciate the conversation.